All right, so we just looked at the geography and how they ended up there. So let's look at what is the title at the top of this page.
New England colonies.
Good. All right. I'll read this first paragraph to you. Does that sound good? You ready to listen? In New England, the Puritans established towns throughout the region. Settlers built homes and farms on land they saw was vacant. Do you know what vacant means?
Good.
Sometimes if I drive by a hotel, I see the sign says vacant. Vacancy. That means they have rooms that are available and open, yeah. So they found land that was vacant. However, local American Indians did not fence or use land in the way English people did. The land colonists assumed was empty was often absolutely necessary to American Indians, and that sometimes led to
conflict.
What does conflict mean? Definitely problems. So the American Indians didn't put up fences. So if I walk and see some empty land, what do you think I'm going to do?
Build something.
Build something, but is the land really empty?
Mm-hmm.
Not to the American Indians. All right. What could we write there? We wrote problems. What is the problem? The land is really what?
Like empty.
Is it really empty?
No.
No.
Because the American Indians don't think it's empty.
So we could put land is taken in a way, right? You can write that down. Ooh, I just got mark all over my hand. Land is taken. So we think. All right, let's read the next paragraph together. In each New England town, the meeting house was the center of town life. It was usually a large, simple building located on the town common area. The meeting house was used for religious services and for town meetings. Government decisions and actions were decided at town meetings. Only church-going men who owned property could vote at these meetings. That whole paragraph's telling us about what?
Meetings?
Mm-hmm. Meetings, yeah. Meeting house or meetings. Angela, you were right when you said something with government things, because it did talk about the governor. So it sounds like lots of things go on there, right? Do we have buildings in our town that a lot of things go on at?
Yes.
Mm-hmm, we do. So we just have probably more than they did back then, but that's okay. All right. Let's read this one in our head. Stop at religion. Who do they introduce to us in there?
Roger Williams.
Roger Williams. I'm just going to underline his name. And then, that was it. Yeah, Roger Williams. So he believed in freedom of
religion,
right. He believed that people should have religion or whatever they want to believe in. All right, ready to listen? Williams argued that civil leaders did not have the right to require everyone to worship in the exact same way. Top Puritan leaders in Boston called Williams' ideas new and dangerous. In 1636, he was banished and forced to leave the colony. Remember we talked about banished earlier? He started a new settlement called Providence in what would become the colony of Rhode Island, and their settlers were free to practice religion in their own way. So what did that paragraph tell us? What was established? The colony of what?
Rhode Island?
Yeah, so I'm not Rhode Island by there. That's kind of the main idea, is how Rhode Island was formed. So, let me spell it up here for you. Spelled kind of differently. R-H-O-D-E. Different. And then island's always spelled kind of different. So this Williams guy believed that everyone should be able to believe in their own
Freedom?
religion, right? Do we all have the same religion?
No.
No.
Probably not. I don't know. I haven't talked to y'all about that, but probably not, and that's okay, right? That Williams guy wanted everyone to be able to practice what they wanted, so he made his own colony of Rhode Island. All right, let's read the next one together. Some ministers opposed civil leaders. John Wise led his towns fight against taxes. Wise was arrested, but he was later chosen to help improve Massachusetts government. All right, so now we have a new person. John Wise, might be Wisey. And he was trying to fight against what?
Taxes.
Taxes. What are taxes? You know?
Where the money that you take away from people.
Yeah, they have to take money away from us to pay for other things. Yep. Anne Hutchinson, who was also forced to leave Massachusetts, she challenged Puritan leaders by insisting that faith in God was more important than church rules. Hutchinson said that the church focused too much attention on people's deeds rather than God's grace. So Anne was for what? What did she believe in?
Grace.
God's
God's grace.
God's grace. So she believed in what?
God.
Yeah. I'm going to put Anne. What can we write? Anne.
Believed in God.
Okay, that works. Anne believed in God. And she found that that was more important, she said. Okay. Let's read this last one together. Just give me just 1 second. Ready? Thomas Hooker. Ready? Thomas Hooker, a Puritan minister, felt that all men should be allowed to vote, not just church members or property owners. He left Massachusetts in 1636 to start a colony that would become Connecticut. So he started a colony called what?
Connecticut.
Connecticut, because he felt that all men should be able to vote. I'm gonna write Connecticut by that, just so I know that that's how Connecticut was formed. We're learning about all these states here. So we've kind of talked about main idea in class, and we're going to talk about main idea here as well. The main idea in this graphic organizer is not all Puritans agreed about religion. So if you look in this green box, it says, one detail is Thomas Hooker left Massachusetts to find more political freedom. So if we look back at Thomas, do you see Thomas anywhere? Oh, right here. Remember, he said, I want all men to be able to vote. Not just people that are in a church, in religion. So he left to find more freedom. Who else disagreed about religion? I'm thinking Anne. What did she not agree with?
Because they didn't believe with God, but she did.
She says that God is more important than church rules, right? So could we write that? Anne believed God was more important than church rules. Y'all okay with that? Let's write that. Anne thought oh my gosh, this is supposed to be less. I don't know what I'm doing. God was more important than church rules. There we go. So we got this, we got that. Now we got to look a little bit higher and see one fact from there. Oh, where are you writing that? Oh, write it in there. Draw an arrow to that white box. We're filling in that box right there. Just draw an arrow like this. Yeah, there you go. So she felt God was more important than church rules. Good. Okay, so if you're finished, I want you to think of one more detail. So we've got the bottom part, we got the middle. Now look at the top and find one more detail about who did not agree with other things as well. And then write it in that box. So we got the middle and the top, middle and bottom. Now think back in the top. Who did not agree with something else? And write it in that box for me, please. Whoa. Williams argued about something. Okay. What'd you write? Good. There you go. You got it. Sometimes I like to underline. What are you writing? This?
Confused.
Yeah, sometimes I like to underline. That's okay. You underlined it. So, Williams thought that everyone should what?
Pick their own way.
Well, read it again.
Worship.
Religion.
Worship different.
Well, it says he thinks everyone should have the right to worship in the same way. So, does he think anyone should do anything different?
No.
No. So, you have Anne who thinks everyone should do what they'd like. And then you have other ones who have different opinions. But he thinks everyone should worship the same
Way.
the same thing, the same way. So, you've got all these people in this argument. So, the main idea is did they all agree on it?
No.
Absolutely not. They did not agree. They were in dissent, right? They had that dissent. They did not agree. So let's think. We've got our KWL chart. What is something we learned today?
That a lot of people didn't agree with everything.
Lots of people didn't agree with everything about what?
Like
Oops.
what other people said.
About what? Farming, religion,
Religion.
about religion, right? What else did we learn? Don't forget we did that first page too. What else did we learn? Did we learn new people?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Like the middle colonies.
Middle colonies, good.
And then the New English colonies.
New England colonies. What else do we learn about?
The southern colony.
The southern colonies. We learned about how their what?
Places were different.
Their places were different. Good.
Change the soil by.
Learned about the soil. We learned about how they changed things. Good. What about the people that already lived here? Who were they?
They were the American English.
What did we find out about the American Indians?
That they didn't like when people were going to their religion.
Exactly. They didn't like that people were going on their land sometimes. So today we figured out what we knew. We asked some questions. Did we learn a lot?
Yeah.
Definitely learned a lot. So every time you think, I want you to think of what you do know from class and such. what you want to know, and you're going to learn a lot in the end. Do you think stopping and jotting helps us?
Yes.
Definitely. I feel like when we stop and jot, y'all sometimes are able to go back and find answers easier. Does that make sense? Highlighting or underlining, does that help?
Yes.
Definitely helps. That's something you can do as long as it's not a paper you can't do that on. But most of the papers you'll have can help. Looking at the pictures, did that help us as well? Definitely did. Y'all did a great job today. Does anyone have any questions?
Mm-mm.
No? All right.